give God enough praise to the Lord for making us able to be here. So many sick and afflicted in this life anymore. And just have to pray that God will touch their hearts and help them along the way, you know. It seems like anymore I don't watch a whole lot of news, Brother Jerry, but at one point in time it just bothered me so bad I quit doing it. But talking about this sickness that's been going around, the pandemic that's going on, but so it's coming back around. You know, my prayer is that the people that don't have the Lord in their lives, just like Brother Jerry said there, they need to seek after Jesus and ask Him to come in their lives and help them along the way. You know, through Adam, death come upon us all, Brother Jerry. So you're wonderfully preaching through and by Jesus Christ, life came. If you don't believe in Him, that one day after a while we can all go to a world where everything will be peace and joy and happiness forevermore. Sitting there thinking, and I thought, well, if Brother Jerry did call on me, what could I say? Because I come pretty well black, but willing to stand and give God the praise, glory, and honor from the very life. I thought about a song, and I ain't sung that in a long time, but maybe try to sing it if the Lord will bless me. But most of all, if you're here this evening and you don't have the Lord in your life, my prayer would be that you're still out and pray. You know, I become a beggar, but I beg and I ask God to come into the lost men and women's lives. And one day after a while, that they would realize, Brother Jerry, just like me and you did, hell was going to be their home if we didn't make that change. And that they would realize that, and then that they'd come professing that the Lord had saved them and going to put their light upon the candlestick. You know, today it's just seems like when they talk about things, and we still have heartaches and troubles and sorrows that come along our way. And I've always been so thankful, and I've always told them, Patsy, after we got the Lord in our life, brought Him into our home, I've always said the Lord would make a way. And He has. He's always made a way. He's put food on the table and made a way for us. And, He's blessed me above measure, and I can't give Him enough praise for it all. Bright morning stars are shining. Bright morning stars are shining. Bright morning stars are shining. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear fathered? Oh, where are our dear good part about it. On that day, not only our children, Brother Jerry, if they left this world, but our precious mother and father that left the light to shine along the way, Brother Jerry. I thank God that I have no father that piled up the stones along the way, and a blessed old mother. And I'm so thankful today that I still have all my children living here with me. That has to be one of the hardest things in life, Brother Jerry, to have to give up a child one time you walk along this way. But that's why we need to go and try to tell them and warn them about the awful thing that's going to happen to them if they don't have the Lord in their life when they leave this old world. I sat there thinking about my blessed old mother when I was just a little boy. How she taught us about the good way of being the good little boys go to the good place, Brother Jerry. The bad little boys go down to the place that you don't want to go to. I'm talking about the world would be on fire. And it's not all I had a while ago when you was blessed in the page. Where would you hide from the flames? Going up, where could you seek away and hide and not be in those awful flames? But the only place that you can be is in the arms of Jesus, to have that blood fire down. So one day after a while, when we have to come down and die, to have the blood fire to you. That's all that it's going to take. I read in the Bible today about when old Moses, when he bled all the plagues there, Brother Jerry, and the only thing that mattered when the death angel come through Egypt there, and how God gave them the commandment was to have the blood upon the mantle poles. If they could, when the death angel come, and Brother Jerry, that's what would save them. God gave that commandment. And them that didn't have the blood upon the mantle poles, the death angel would have took them out of there, the firstborn today. And I'm so thankful today that one day after a while, if I just keep holding on to Jesus' hand, He's going to take me somewhere. One day after a while, when I got to come down and die, if I get this so virus that they're talking about, it's going to take me out of the world, I'm still going to give God the praise and honor for my life, Brother Jerry. If you're here today and you're lost and undone, for God's sake, still out and begin to pray. I know I did. I got a fear upon me that if I died, I was going to die and go down to the world of lost. What did you do about it, Brother Jerry? I began to still out and pray and ask God for His mercy. And I thought a lot about Noah. When he come down to seek Him after the Lord, I thought, well, people will make fun of you if you get the Lord in your life and you serve Him along this way, Jerry. Think about Noah a lot. God gave him that commandment to build that ark. Built it in a place there wasn't no water around it, Brother Jerry. No doubt they had to laugh at him and had to make fun of him about building an ark like that. Building a ship, I call it, but building that ark out where there wasn't no water. But this is the thing about it. He was warning men and women, it's going to rain upon this earth. You need to get prepared. The rains are coming today. The fires are coming. The ends are coming. And if you don't have the Lord in your life, it's going to be too late for you. Oh, no doubt 120 years in building that ark. He had to take a lot of ridicule, a lot of people laughing at him and making fun of him. But every day he'd just keep up. He'd just give God the praise and keep on building on that old ark. Let's put it to piece together. And one day after a while, whenever the rain started, they didn't have the right way to go. They didn't have the ark of safety to get in, did they, Brother Jerry? They didn't make preparations to go. It's like you preached there last weekend about the 5 wise and the 5 foolish virgins. The 5 wise kept oil in their vessel. They didn't burn it up. They kept adding to it. Them that didn't have the oil, they waited too late. When the death angel come, they didn't get to go in, but the 5 wise, they got to go in this day. But one day after a while, when it began to rain, the rain beat down upon that old ark, and I could just picture in my mind people knocking on the door begging to get into that ark. The door couldn't open the door because God had sealed that door, and then waiting too late. And I love to tell this little story. I was at the funeral, I was at the hospital one night about 2 o'clock in the morning. I had a great uncle, Brother Jerry, dying pretty well on his deathbed, leaving this old world. And I said, Uncle Floyd, don't you want to go to heaven when this life's over with? And he made this comment. In the days of Noah, there wasn't very many people want to go. There's only 8 souls saved for water. And I told him, I said, well, that's like this, Uncle Floyd. If there but 8 people go today, Brother Jerry, I won't be one of them 8 today. I don't want to go down to the world of love. But the Bible teaches me, said their smoke of their torment I send up forever and forever. I don't want to go down to that awful place, and I don't want you to go. I want to be on the glory land. I love to hear Jeremiah sing that song, come and go with me to the glory land. That's our invitation here today. Come and go with me to the glory land. I thought about this today, Brother Jerry. I see so many things on Facebook. We need to send out the invitation. I don't care if they're drug addicts, smokers, or whatever they are. We need to try to get them into the house of God. But then let God work on them, Brother Jerry, and get them to turn away from those things in life. We need to open our arms up and tell them we love them today. We need to welcome them in. You know, today, if you don't think you have troubles in your home, just look around. It's a coming. If you don't think you have heartaches, you don't think there's drugs or things in your family, you're blessed today, Brother Jerry, because one day after a while, it'll be there. Seems like so many troubles and heartaches along the way. The only thing we can do is tell them that the Lord loves them. Tell them that Jesus loves them, Brother Jerry, and he won't turn away from that. I touched my heart last weekend when Jerry talking about somebody in his family was in jail. We got a nephew that's in jail. It seemed like the last time he was in before he got back in again. He said, I asked you one time, what are you doing? He said, I'm reading the Bible, Brother Jerry. That's all we can hope and pray for. That one day after a while, they'll look to the one that can help them. They'll look to the one that can open them cell doors. Look for the one that one day after a while, if they get out to get Jesus in their life, let them lead them along the way. It makes no difference what comes upon us in this life. If we just hold the Lord up and give Him the praise for it all, it makes no difference who they are. Family, I've got problems in our family. Not mine. I'm so thankful today for the 2 boys and the little girl that I've got. That they walk along the way that they walk, Brother Jerry. About your own family and our overall family, they've been heartaches, they've been troubles, and they've been things that happen. You just pray that we'll tell you about it. Death will come to you. Death will come to your home. You just pray. When you pick up and get a phone call and say so-and-so died, that the OD and died, it's a heartbreaker, Brother Jerry. And on my life, when you get that call, you think, well, what else could I have done? What else could I have done? Maybe they wouldn't have went that way. But when you tell them you love them and do all that you can for them, Brother Randy, they choose the path they're going to choose. But we just need to love them and show them the way to go, that one day after a while, heaven can be their home if they go away, follow after Jesus. Jesus gave it all. I think about the old rugged cross. Can you just picture him laying down there? Laying down there, he didn't have to lay down and let him drive those little nails in his hand. I thought about the blood on the mantle when I was reading out about Moses, how they had to strike it on the doorpost and on the side. And I thought about Jesus when they laid him down, the crown of thorns upon his head, and that blood had come out of his head. And they were driving the nails in his hand. And they're representing Christ there upon the cross today. He gave it all. God gave the very best he could. If men and women would just seek after him. I love the story about in the old Bible. We talked about when the serpents was about in the mire. They told them to make a brazen image of that old serpent that hanged up on a tree. If they just looked upon it, they would live today. People today, we tell them to look upon Jesus, look upon Jesus, and they could live. To get him down in their life. No doubt there was people back then so hard-hearted they wouldn't even look at that serpent upon raised up like that, and they died. The same way they go today. People going down their own way. One day after a while, the Lord is going to come. We got to leave this old world. I'm so thankful. If you call tonight, I'm ready to go. I thank God for that, Brother Jerry. Money or silver or gold couldn't buy that today. It was a free gift of God that he gave to me. It was today, I thank God for his grace and his salvation today, for that free gift. I love that. Whosoever will believe upon him should not perish but have everlasting life. Today I'm so glad that I was a whosoever, that I believed upon him, and he heard my cry. I'll tell you what, I'll say just a little bit more and I'll get out of the way. I called buddy back here who started working for that man on Pumpkinhead. He took blesses me just to be able to talk to him. The morning we talked about the Lord. I thank God that we work together and we can talk about somebody that one day after a while heaven's going to be our home. He tell me about his experience, how things work in this life. And God will knock at your heart's door. You just got to open it up and let him in. Amen. Come in and let you serve him what time you walk along this way. I had a fear of night going down the world, and I'm not ashamed to tell this. Run equipment, run no bulldozer. I can take you down here and take you back on the hill and show you where I backed that little bulldozer up, Brother Randy. If I find a reason there I can get off and talk to the Lord, Brother Jerry, I get off and get down behind it. God, it's just me. I want to ask you for your mercies today. Forgive me. Don't let me die lost. I'm putting head. I got a fear that if I rode that old dozer or flipped over and I died, hell was going to be my home. I began to seek out, began to pray. I thank God for them old preaching brothers, old better mans. I know I think about him a lot. This Jerry's grandpa. I remember my dad. So many times we made the journey over to his house. But one day after a while, all them old brothers that preached Jesus along the way didn't take any then, but just think about it. You always come back to mind whenever I got to seeking out after the Lord and asked him to come into my life. Didn't know. One day after a while, all he wanted to hear in my life is, Lord, I'm willing to lay it down. I become willing. If Patsy would have come home and found my dead body, Brother Jerry, there in my living room, in our living room, my prayer was, if she comes home and found my dead body laying here, just let heaven be my home when I leave this little world. He didn't want to take my life. Brother Man didn't want to give me life. He wanted me not to be ashamed to confess him to this lost and dying world. I told him, I said, God, if you'll just bless me to be able to get back to the church house this season, I'll put my light up on the candlestick. I'll not be ashamed of you anymore. I always like to tell this for the one honor of God. Didn't know it. He's already working on the other side. Patsy's been praying too. I didn't know that. So it's an individual thing between me and the Lord, Brother Eddie. It's an individual thing between each and every person. I couldn't say nobody. Couldn't save myself, but other than by God's mercy, asking him for mercy. I sat there praying, had my head down and praying. The church was, Brother Ernest King was up and preaching. I know Brother Ernest King, one day after a while, I seen him somewhere. I see him over in the glory land. I thank God for the life that he lived. That's why he didn't live this whole life, Brother Randy. Whenever he leaves this whole world, surely if anybody made it all the way home, he did. Brother Ernest King was up preaching. The next thing I know, they're rejoicing. Patsy had already beat me to up in the stand. I was right behind her. Didn't feel worthy that they'd even take me in, Brother Randy. But I give all I could say. I've been praying. I feel like the Lord has forgiven me, and that's all I wanted to hear. But I had a desire, Brother Jerry. I had a desire after that. I worked for the boy. He said, well, why wouldn't you get baptized right then? Of course, they believed you had to be baptized to go to heaven. The water saved you more or less what he saw me. I said, I didn't want to be. I wanted my family to be there, Brother Jerry. I wanted them brothers and sisters of mine to be there. I wanted to be a witness to them. And maybe being a witness to them, Brother Jerry, it might mean something to them. And maybe draw them in. And I talked about God, Mommy and Daddy laying out those stones. Mommy died when I was just a little bitty boy. But she always lived that Christian life. I think so many things about these. Life means something this morning. Life means everything to your family and your children. I can, when he talks about communion time, Brother Jerry, I can picture my own mommy. Used to back then, this is the way they did it then. My My mom, Daddy was a deacon in the church, and I can picture her taking that bread, making that bread for the community meeting, how she rolled that bread, how she handled it so tenderly and lovingly. She made that bread. I never did see her put a piece of metal against it. Whenever she rolled it out and striped it, she'd take a wooden stick and put the stripes in there, and actually took it outside on this sunny day and laid it out on a piece of tin or something to let the sun bake it. Does that mean something to you? It meant everything to me to remember those memories of my blessed mother and how she would give God the praise and glory and honor. That's her life today. We need to be that way before our children, giving them the praise for our very life. My dad lives to be an old age. So many wonderful thoughts about him. I always thought about Daddy ain't able to get up and go. I didn't know whether he had somebody else on his side to help him along the way. He'd get up and go when I didn't think he was able. But he'd get up and go. Why did he go? What Brother Jerry was trying to tell there a while ago. The way I took it, we need to be out about our Father's business. When you don't think you're able and you're trying to put an excuse out. Look what the Lord did for you. Get out and go and give him the praise and honor for your very life. That one day after a while, we can all go over into the glory land. Today, we've got loved ones that's down and out. They're in trouble. You just need to pray for them. I don't think Pastor Kerr, but Michael, you're going to have to, and he's in jail. I would love to be able to just go and see him. If I can finally quit work one day after a while and he's still in jail, I'm trying to win the world. I'm trying to get him to stay home. You can come here and live with us. But he's willing to make his journey and move on. But one day after a while, our prayer is he'll get out, Brother Jerry, and he'll give his life to live for the Lord what time he longs along this way. That's the thing about our children today, our neighbors' children. If you see them doing something they don't need to be doing, need to tell them that the Lord loves them. Try to get them going on the right way. Just invite them to come in one day after a while. We can all go to the glory land. Drugs, alcohol, they're talking about anymore. Just heroin and all the different types of drugs are becoming a big issue here back in Floyd County again. We just need to tell their children there's a better way. There's something better than being on drugs. They need the Lord in their life before it's everlasting too late. One thing about it, I'm like old David. When his little son died, he got up and got ready. He said, I can't bring him back. He said, I can't bring him back, but I can go be where he's at today. I'm talking about my precious brother of mine today. I can't bring him back here, and he won't want to come back here, Brother Jerry. But one day after a while, we'll be over together. A little baby sister of mine, Brother David, I can't bring her back. But one day after a while, we can all be together over in the glory land. Everything will be peace and joy and happiness forevermore. I love you today. Thank God that He's blessed me to be here. One day after a while, one thing I want to get out, I want to journey along this way to heaven, a home in heaven, Brother Jerry. And life is passing by fast. Sitting there thinking about that thought a while ago. I was probably about 4 years old. Thinking about the different things Mommy talked and did. Thought about her. It just seemed like that was yesterday. I'm 66 years old, going on 67. It just seemed like that time just flew by, Brother Jerry. You talked about it the other day. Death is going to overtake us before too long. So don't wait for me. I've got a home over in heaven. When you come, just tell my children, like our old daddy of mine, tell my children there's a heaven to gain and a hell to shun. They just need to get the Lord in their lives. Let them lead them along the way. For one morning after one in the morning, we're all going to go over to the glory land if you got the Lord in your life. The sad part of it is, says the way down to the world of lost is wide and it's the path's got wide, and water is the way. Well, they're going down the right way today. They need the Lord in their life. I love you. Pray for everyone.